Good morning, everybody. How are we doing today? We are back at it. New day, new play. Hooray. Who doesn't love it, right? Who doesn't love it? Bump, 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 bump. Let's open this up here. For those of you that are Ontario folk, I realize that you are stuck in a lockdown. Yay, that happened. Ford is looking to completely kill small town Ontario because of Toronto and Ottawa. It's a thing. Really, really unfortunate. What in the world is that? Hopefully you guys can't hear that in the background. There's literally a guy doing our trees, like he's cutting down trees all day outside. So hopefully you don't hear any of that. Hopefully the NVIDIA broadcast is cutting out all of that background noise. But all I can hear out my window is a giant tree grinding wood chip making machine. Nothing. Wow, that's impressive. Well done, NVIDIA. Well done. For any streamer, highly advocate for this. Why is this still showing April Fool's Day as the launch for this stream? That's not right. That's not right. That's not the right title. Let's go see if I can't fix that. On the public, yeah, on the public.
I forgot against who, and I was like,
on the public Miller Vet page, yeah, it is definitely there. On the public Miller Vet page, yeah, it is definitely. I might have to close this down and open it back up. I just want to make sure that I'm actually streaming everywhere properly. Because if that wrong title came in. Oh no, it is live. Okay, weird. So it's just Twitch that got it wrong. Interesting. Okay. Oh well, that is that then. Yo, what's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? Big shout out, guys. We are almost there. It is so close on the subs. It is so close. Almost there. Just on the tip away from breaking into that 2,000 sub range. Live sub count. 10 more. 10 more people. So if you're not subbed yet to the YouTube channel, be waiting for it. Get on in there. Get on in there. All right. What are we looking at today? We are going to do, it's been a few days since we popped in and did tickers to watch. So today is going to be about breaking down the tickers that you guys want to see. We'll do that after the market opens. Let's go ahead and open marbles. So we're ready to go today. I figure we do one stream a week. That's, you guys throw out tickers and I break them down. I think that's probably the best way to go with that. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Why AbbVie careful? Uh, with any of, I can't remember from the day when we had that. This was the last time I broke this down. I'd have to go back in and look at it. But there was something with AbbVie that you had to be very careful. I can't remember what it was. Um, these are all keeps. These are all tickers that I didn't have a problem with keeping on this list that I saw potential in. So anything from this list, I'm not opposed to. Um, you guys can't see that though because Marby's is up, right? Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Pick this. I'm gonna go grab coffee. I'll be right back, guys. Oh, okay. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I got my coffee. We're ready to roll here. Yeah, so guys, we'll do ticker breakdown today after the market opens. Winner on the marbles gets to pick what it is. If you're over on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter watching this, fantastic to have you lurking about. However, if you want to play marbles, it's got to be on Twitch. Otherwise, you can throw out tickers on all those other channels, and I'm happy to do a breakdown of those plays. Now, before we get started, guys, I'm going to throw the disclaimer out here. I am not a financial professional. Anything that you see on this channel is educational. It shows you how I trade, what my thought process is. You need to come up with your own trading methodology. If you haven't done that, you're not sure where to get started, that reading list right there is for you. It's complete with all kinds of fantastic. I don't know if you guys can see that on the other platforms. So I'll put this over here. That reading list right there is full of books that I recommend as far as getting started, understanding what the market is, how it works, how to play it. So if you guys are looking for how to get started in the market, I recommend those books. I have read all of them personally, and they have in one way or another gone towards my my own trading methodology. But yeah, we'll break down tickers today. Let's get going on this though. You got 10 seconds to hit play and get in. If you don't hit play and you're not in, you're not in. Lion? I'm in now. All right, here we go. Decent number of folks lurking around. Hope everybody is doing well today. Did try to record the video yesterday, guys. Put it all together. Did all the editing. Took about 2 hours. Only to have the file corrupted. So I'm gonna go back in today. I'm gonna re-edit it. I was just kind of pissed off with it yesterday, so I didn't do it. So the winner gets to pick the ticker that we watch going into the market. It's kind of cool, Matt. Da boost. Da boost. That was quite the jump. Trados, last one in, first one to the finish. Whoa! What happened? Oh, Trados gets blocked back. RBK. Frico Rico takes it. I don't know what that was. There was something explosive in that pile, but Trados got cucked. Frico Rico takes it. Let's go. Frico, the pick is yours, sir. The pick is yours. Which ticker shall it be? ASO? Yeah, we can watch ASO. Rigged because no sub. Yet one more reason, right? What's this? Another hedge fund got margin called? Really? Hedge fund margin call. See the Credit Suisse Nomura. JP Morgan offered 9 million shares last night after hours. So people were already calling for the death of hedge funds. People were already calling for another death of hedge funds based off of the Nomura. But before that, even where hedge funds just weren't making the profits that they once were. Is ZOM actually going to show green on the day? Sundial is sitting hard at that $1 line, so I'll be interested to see what that does today. They did drop news of a new partnership, but the partnership is another Canadian one, so I don't know that that's the direction people wanted to see that go. I don't even know if the news hit these scanners. I don't know why Sundial is tagged on this. No, because it's up 132%. It's 25% of the float of ASO. So you're expecting to see this fall? What is ASO pre-market? It's only 29.30. It's only 29.30. You haven't missed much. You haven't missed much so far. But yeah, guys, the YouTube video for the week, I will be doing that this afternoon. I just have to re-edit the clips that I did, but it will be about how to game the market or how to play the market and win. It's that analogy that we had the other day with soccer and well, sports in general and how it can be applied to the market. So that'll be the one that I'm putting out later today. I'll make that available. Just a nice refresher for those of you that have been in the market for a while. For anybody that's new to the market, it'll be a fairly good foundational thing. Hedge funds being over leveraged on margin and getting margin calls when the market has unexpected swings. The unexpected swings is the part that I'm not so sold on. I can't see anything that's going to cause an unexpected swing in the near future. Stimulus is out. Infrastructure spending isn't blowing anybody's mind. The only thing that I could think of that actually has a massive swing is Biden has said that he is open to revisiting the capital tax raise and not raising it to the 28%. Now, if Biden chooses to raise it minimally, we're talking 2 to 3%, that could be a very bullish signal to the market. Then instead of them having to, take another 7% off the bottom line, they'll instead be able to pocket that and invest it in R&D, whatever else. So inflation interest rates is nothing at this point. I think I saw the product pricing. That's fantastic on ZOM. It's about 13K, 12.8, I think is what I saw. So 13,000 on Zomedica. I'm okay with that. Zomedica did come in, guys. Somebody finally got a screenshot of the product. Let's see if I can find it. I'm sure there's one here somewhere. Come on. There were pictures all night last night of people showing the screenshot of the pricing. It's there. This is the cancer liquid biopsy. That's not the same thing. There it is. There's the picture there, guys. The Medica price, 12,595. Yeah, it's in a really nice price point. I am happy with that, guys. Again, my hope was that we see it sell somewhere in that initial $5 to $10 million range. So if we're looking at $5 million bucks, we do 5 million divided by the 13.5. We'll just call it 13. So they need to sell like 400 of these units. I think that's doable. I think 400 units is doable. There's enough vets up the East Coast that I think 400 units is doable. We don't have specific guidance on that. Yeah, we don't have specific guidance on that. For me, I think 400 units up the East Coast is going to be relatively easy. A lot of the vet industry has been aware of this and waiting for it. So now, whether we get PR on initial sales or not, that's who knows. I may be in this thing until May. I may be in this thing until earnings. But for me to see the number being 400 that they've got to hit, I don't think that's going to be tough. Seems like a high premium. The thing is, once you buy the machine, you've got the machine, and the promise is there are additional assays coming out. So you're going to be able to eventually test all kinds of things using this unit. So you buy the one unit, and then the cartridge pricing afterwards is where they make the bulk of their return on this, right? So the cartridges is fantastic. They've got an ongoing revenue stream even after the unit purchase. But the units themselves, with the ability to add additional testing diagnostics to it, is just going to make this a first-in-class tool. Every vet is going to have one of these things, right? It's like if you go into a hospital, do they have EKG monitors in every room? Yes. It's that same kind of thing. Every vet is going to have that thing because it's one unit that tests for everything. And all you have to do is buy the test cartridges. Instead of separate machines to test all these things, you got to send them away and bring them back. Yeah, I think the vet schools are going to be big, which is huge for the guy who was part of Texas A&M. The block trade was by KKR. It does look like I mean, they've got $15 billion, but for them to be over leveraged. What's up? What's up? What's up? Doing well, Jigsaw. Doing well. I've been around. I just took Wednesday off. Okay, market's going to open any second here, so I am going to drain the snake, and I will be right back. Yeah, hair. That's where I'm at on it. The math just adds up for me. So the math just adds up for them. Now, that's as they move across the US. California is going to be a big market that they're not currently open for, but California will be a big market for sure. But New York, Florida, those are great markets. New Jersey's a great market. Massachusetts is a great market. That's Zemetica. We finally got a price on Zemetica's unit, so it's about 13 grand. So um, I figure they sell about 4 million. Uh, so the thing with Zemetica, guys, is everybody that was part of the meme thing got in on the meme thing because they were supposed to have this illustrious date of the 30th or 31st to start sales. And everybody thought that this would be the big momentum. There would be a huge catalyst on that. The end is beer. Love that name. Thanks for following, man. Much appreciated. Let me know how you found the stream, what it is you trade. Everybody was hoping that we would see numbers on the day from them. And it didn't happen. And so what happened instead was 2 weeks before they did an influencer purchase. So a gentleman who has ties to Texas A&M Vet, who has New York State, who has the American Vet Society on his portfolio as things that he has been involved in the board and decision making and in graduation. So he has a massive clinic in upstate New York. They sold him the initial unit, and everybody went, "What? That's it? That's all we're going to get is one pre-sale unit?" And the stock went down as a result. The reality is people are stupid. And we've been over this, guys. A person can be intelligent. A person can make intelligent decisions. A person can make logical conclusions. People are stupid. So when you get a mob that runs towards something and goes, "Oh, they only had one sale. It's all over. Everybody out of the pool." People leave. They do. They exit. It's a reality. For me, nothing changed. The catalyst that I'm training this on initially was the liquid cancer biopsy. That was the big one that I was tracking. The Truforma thing is icing on the cake for me, but it's a big bit of icing. So for me with Truforma, you've got sales. It's happening. It's out there. It's selling. You don't know who's buying it or how many. So until you know how many people are buying it, who knows? But this is a company that has never sold a product up till now. I bought in above $2. My average is over 2. I'm over 237. But when you see guys like Vanguard, BlackRock, Citadel, there's another one, Cambridge, are all in this thing. They're all holding shares in this thing, waiting for it to go. Preferred shares all legged out. They gave up their preferred shares so that they could take a $40 million loss to hold common shares. They're all just waiting for this to go. When you look at a bio company, guys, a bio company drops their first release and they start producing revenue, very likely, 9 times out of 10, this thing heads towards 10, 15 bucks. 10, 15 bucks. If this heads to 10 bucks, I quadruple what I put into it. I'm willing to wait. FTOC, I'm still confident, guys, that I'm going to see this thing triple. I think it's going towards 30 plus. SNDL, time will tell. It's down below the dollar here. They know that they need to get moving. They know that they've got to get the press out. They know that they need to stay compliant. So I imagine that we can expect to see news come out of buyback, partnerships in the US, acquisitions, and mergers. That's what it's going to take. They need to stop pissing around with what's going on in Canadian, Alberta, all of that crap. They got to get out of that. It's got to come back to buybacks in a big way. Share buyback, and it has to come back to a U.S. acquisition. They need a big announcement on a U.S. acquisition or merger. That's what they need. I don't mind being down in SNDL. Yeah, the CEO of ZOM, guys, great track record on the guy. He's worked with Pfizer in the past. He's big on either growing a business out or getting it purchased and moving on to the next business. For Zomedica, there is another competitor in the industry. The company is IDEX. IDXX. They're a big company. They got lots of coin. They got lots of capital. If an announcement of a buyout happens, I don't think we hit the $10 mark on it, but I think we see 68 bucks.
Yep.
I think we see $68 come in as a buyout offer, which is still, that's great. Instead of quintupling my money, I would quadruple it. Oh well. Triple at least.
Wait, isn't this the insulin company?
IDEX? They do all kinds of stuff, but they also have that.
Yeah.
Zomedica is the liquid biopsy screening.
You muted on Discord, by the way. I can't hear you. To keep.
Zomedica is the liquid biopsy, guys. Yeah, product performance is going to be a big part of this. They want to see how the initial sales go for sure, but they have tons of other patents coming down the pipeline. They've got 4 other patents that are separate from Truforma, and then they have additional tests coming out for Truforma. Like it's this massive thing, guys. But if you're a day trader, if you're somebody that's in and out of stocks in the day, I don't know that I would be looking at this. I don't think that this is a play for you. I don't. If you're somebody that is playing on capital that they cannot afford to lose entirely, you may not want to be in on this. My total account value is 64,000 right now. That puts me up 15 grand on the year. I'm 13 grand right now. Total account value is 65,000. So 13, 14 grand on the year right now. That's not bad for a $50,000 account to be up 15 grand on the year. I'm okay with that. But the potential for the growth on these is still so high that I'm not leaving. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not worried about it. So, yeah. But SNDL does need to make a move. They do. They got to do something with all that money.
Millennial. Yeah. So I don't know if you looked into that person like DMing me some offer the other day.
No, I didn't.
But
I didn't look at it.
I did some research behind it because I asked the moderators around that subreddit that I'm pretty sure that's where he caught me from, and they said that thing has been banned in their subreddit because it's just another like fake website that they're trying to get. Well, not really fake, but like they're trying to get their own like independent video platform up, and the people who are DMing you are usually like these third world people who are on the platform who want you to like subscribe to them and do like a collab thing where you're helping them more than you're getting these things that they promised. And based on that person's
my latest sponsor is out of Belarus. The trick is with any of this is you outline the terms, you set the dollar amount, and you leave it at that.
Well, I did some due diligence and looking at like, is this person like, how is this person like? Is it a bot? Is it some person like? Because usually if they have like a chat history or any sort of log history, which you can see in the screenshot, this seems like a kid, and I don't think he works for them. So
yeah, so that's what I mean. You outline what it's going to look like, right?
Oh no, I just highlighted in that screenshot where he's talking in these other threads and stuff like that, and talks like a kid.
Well, yeah, none of that matters. All that matters is if anybody ever reaches out for a partnership, what you do is you reach back out and say, here are the outlines, here are the guidelines, here's the cost. When you pay it, we'll talk further.
I'm literally gonna go up front with if after I did my due diligence, like if he checked out, I would have immediately said, okay, do you have a pitch deck, and what are you looking to offer me? Because I'm not sure if I'm not sure what to charge.
So you're already going the wrong way about it. You're going the wrong way about it. Don't ever put the ball in their court. You tell them this is what you get. You get a 30-second ad at the start of my video, or you get a banner with your product on my video somewhere, or you get a shout out on whatever it is, right? And you put a price. Here's the package. Here's what it is. Here's the cost. Payment is in full upfront. Yes or no? And that will immediately weed out anybody that is a scam artist, anybody that is just trying to fish for their own benefit. If they get back to you with anything like, well, no, I thought we'd do it hand in hand for exposure, or for growth, or for, experience. No, I'm not. Sorry. Here's the package. Here's the cost. You pay to play. That's how this works. That's how advertising and marketing works. I know you have an advertising budget if you're a real company.
In my experience, I should take the payment up front. Is that a norm in this type of thing, or?
I always take payment in full up front. Always. Any sponsor, any advertiser, and anybody who is an advertiser who has like an actual marketing budget and a team has never given me a hard time about that. Never. Sure, absolutely. Because they know that we've got a contract. I always sign a contract with them saying that this is what I'm going to deliver. Payment is in full up front. And then there's a whole bunch of legalese at the bottom that if I don't deliver, then payment is, returned, which is fine. I'm okay signing a contract that says that. But whenever you guys are, if any of you guys ever are streamers, YouTubers, any of that stuff, if people reach out to you and they are offering you exposure or experience or free product, skip it, pass it, move on. If you are willing to do things for free, you will always do things for free. If you are going to provide people value, there should be a cost to that. And the most decent marketing and advertising companies out there understand that and are willing to pay the cost.
Yeah, I come from the film world. There's too many times where I've heard like, "Oh, don't worry about it. Well, the check's in the mail," or some shit like that.
Great. Check can be in the mail, and the second it's in my bank account, I will start working. How willing do you think vets are going to be switching from Simmons and Zetas' devices that are used to diagnose the same diseases as Truforma? My understanding is they diagnose the same diseases, but not as fast. And most vets currently do not have the devices in-house. Most vets are sending out testing to labs that have the devices. So that's one of the big sells on this is the time, 20 minutes. You can have your clients sit in the lobby while the test is being run and give them the results instead of sending it away, waiting 2 to 3 weeks for results. Now, with the ones that they're currently testing for, not as huge of a deal. But once they get that liquid biopsy in there, once it's a cancer test, that's a big thing. Speed of diagnosis is what they're selling in a big way. If you are a pet owner, right? So let's say you're somebody out there who, and we all know them, that call them their fur babies, right? Their dogs are their children. And they want to know whether their dog has cancer. Do they want to go to the clinic that has the test that tells them in 20 minutes or 2 weeks? It's a no-brainer. It's a rhetorical question, right? They are always going to go to the client that's got, or to the vet that has the TRUFORMA unit. Always. To know in 20 minutes is going to be a huge deal. With the pet boom, it's just going to be a thing. So when I hop onto something like StockTwits, and there's a lot of people going back and forth about, well, this is dog shit. They don't have sales. They don't have yada 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 yada. Oh, for sure they're going to continue their data studies. They'll just have more data available, because that's the other thing with Zomedica, guys. Is let's go to the site. The all of the units that they have are on this cloud software that they have, which is, what do they call it? My TRUFORMA or My Zomedica or something. Yeah, myzomedica.com. So you better believe, look, like they are collecting all of this data all the time. And as they put out additional tests, this data is going to be even more available for them, which means that they are going to have this massive pool of knowledge. And you know that pool of knowledge can be sold back to people. Don't you think companies like Chewy are going to want to know data about which states are showing this for dogs or this for cats or this? Of course they're going to want that data. They're going to want their hands on that. That's going to be worth a fortune in and of itself, but that's down the road. That's like a 5-year play. If you're playing Zomedica on 5-10 years, this is hugely relevant for you. That's a big deal.
Oh yeah, Millennial. So I came up with an idea yesterday on what I could do for the live stuff that I am thinking about. What do you think of? I think this might be like either drawing content or it might have gone past or whatever. But what do you think of me reviewing or actually trying to debunk on stream live on Wednesdays for these TikTok investors that like make these bold claims where they take $1 and they made $3,600 on trading the SPY?
I'm always a bigger fan of you attacking an idea instead of a person.
No, it's their claims. Their claims are utter bullshit.
No, it's a person. You're attacking a person. You are. When you attack you're attacking a person there. If you're attacking their insights on a position, okay, that's one thing, right? Like this person says that the future of the world depends on Neo succeeding. And you get in there and you're like, well, Neo actually isn't going to be the future of the world because of this. That's fine. That's indirect enough that you're not directly attacking the person. But if somebody makes a claim that, oh, I made $8 million last year trading penny stocks, and you go to just debunk that and tear that apart, you're attacking a person directly by attacking that claim.
That's so stupid.
No, Dan's blaring and he's in here throwing nuts and bolts. ACRX had news, did they? What's the news?
So confusing.
Yeah, this is not moving the marker for them. These studies by investigator-initiated studies are not moving the mark for them. Yeah, the focus has to be DoD and getting those sales teams online. I cannot believe that after a year with Zimmer Biomet, that sales team is still not fully activated. That is a massive, I would say it's at the point of negligence on behalf of the CEO that sales team at Zimmer Biomet is not trained. That's the bread and butter. That's the name of the game. That's what has to get done. Screw your 4-pillar presentation. It's a rookie move. You look like you're from the 90s, outdated and unaware of what moves the market. What moves the market, your sales pitch should be as simple as this. Any hospital that switches over to this from what they are currently doing will save millions of dollars a year in outpatients, in beds. It is a gross negligence that you have 3 sales teams, an internal sales team, Zimmer Biomet, which is a massive company, and La Jolla, which is a smaller company given, but it's still an additional external sales team, and they aren't all trained. They're not selling your product, and your sales pitch is this ridiculous high school project of the 4 pillars of success. Screw all of that. All you need to do is sit them down and go, you are spending how much on beds being held up? Great. We save you all of that money. All you have to do is switch over. Yes, there's an initial upfront cost that you have to buy Desuvia. However, switching to Desuvia is going to save you millions at the end of the year. Interested? Yes? No? I'm not in ACRX. Well, I shouldn't say I'm not in ACRX because I do have, I think I still have options. What gets me mad is when executives are a waste of time. When you are the CEO of a company, it is not that difficult to realize your job, your objective is build the bottom line. And when you can't do that because you are unable to innovate, that you are giving the same presentation at every single conference and talk, you are not drawing new eyes to investment, right? Who here would sit down to watch AstraZeneca at another event when you know Vince is just going to get on up there and give the exact same talk that he's given for 2 years? Just because you added a new slide doesn't change, like you're not changing the game.
Wait, so how do people like this, like CoffeeZilla and all these people, get away with saying like these guys are outright scamming you? They're saying you could become a YouTube millionaire or something like that, or they're offering you. Like Graham recently did a quote unquote review of the ads playing before his videos, where these guys are saying like, "Yeah, this is my real Porsche that I just bought. This is my account," and then he just like goes up to a bank and withdraws money. He's just like, why would you do that? Like, having $50,000 is that considered rich? Because
When you're as big as Graham Stephan, or it's the Shark Tank thing, right? Like, what makes you qualified to criticize someone else? Shark Tank, you can bring people in and have Shark Tank people rip them to pieces because they're qualified critics, right?
Yeah.
What makes you qualified to rip apart a TikTok stream? Nothing. Nothing.
it's like a celebrity status thing, because
It's not celebrity necessarily.
I can literally just like some of these things I could just take 30 seconds to Google and debunk exactly what they're saying from an official source.
That's exactly it, Tom Flaman. You can't just be a hater. You have to have some clout. You have to. So if you had a community of your own, you were a partnered YouTuber, sure, go ahead, have at her. But I mean, if you're gonna start, like, imagine you critiquing Graham Stephan. Who cares, right? It'd be like me offering insight into how Gary Vaynerchuk does his advertising and marketing. It'd be out of place. I just have. It's not that I couldn't. I could do it. It's just I would have no credibility because of the clout that I'm lacking.
But what if everybody's dogpiling on it? Would it actually? And I'm jumping on the bandwagon. Is that still okay or not okay? Like how everybody's jumping on the bandwagon talking about like the Archipelagos meltdown.
Okay, it's time for pain. It's time for pain. I'm going to give you guys the conference story. Are you ready? Here's the conference lesson. So everybody's been to a conference, right? You go to a conference and there's a dozen booths. Okay, so all these little tables will be different booths. Okay. And then you've got over here, we'll make the stage where the person speaks at the conference. Okay. And then you've got we'll do this will be the guy that runs the conference, and then we'll create a guy over here who's talking on the stage. Okay, so here we are. We're sitting at a conference. Each of these booths is trying to sell you a different product, right? Let's say 9 of these booths are all selling, and we'll make, I don't know, we'll just do this. We'll do a big paint circle. Anybody that has it, these booths here are selling yellow, okay? These booths are selling yellow. And they're all selling different shapes, sizes, and varieties of yellow, slightly different takes of yellow, but they're all selling yellow, okay? And this booth is selling this color. That's green. I'm colorblind. Of course it's green. And I was going to say this is blue, but it's probably purple, right? Okay, so in this scenario, who makes the most money? Let's point to the people. I'll draw little arrows. Who makes money in this scenario?
The guy who sold them the shovel to the conference.
Okay, this guy here makes the money. Because he sold money and he's making money on all of these booths, right? So he makes money. He makes money on every single one of the people that are walking up and down the lines here going, wee. All the people that are going up and down these lines are, I don't know what I'm doing here. These funny looking lines are all the people that are wandering around, okay? Okay, so that's one person that makes the money. The next person that makes the money, who has the most product, right? So the biggest square, right? If there's one square that's the size of 2 squares and they're selling yellow, this giant square is going to make more money. This, in my opinion, is the Graham Stephan, the Gary Vaynerchuk, the Kim Kardashian. Okay? Who else makes money?
The people speaking there or showcasing there.
This guy's getting paid to be here, right? The guy on stage is getting paid to be here. He doesn't care whether you buy anything or sell anything. His job was to be here talking, his or her job, I should say. A lot of powerful female speakers that get less limelight, and they deserve it. They deserve to have more limelight. They are powerful speakers. I'm all for women speakers and supporting women in the industry. They have a hard time being there. That's my rant on that. But this person makes money. So the guy who's selling the booths makes the money, okay? This guy standing on the stage makes money. The biggest booth of yellows makes money. Who else? The union crew to set it up. Sure, I'm going to include that in this, though. I'm going to include that in this guy here. That's the administrative side of the thing, right? They make money. This guy makes money. Do you know why this guy makes money?
I mean, there's no guarantee that that person makes money, but they show
Oh,
up.
no, there is. There is a guarantee. There is an absolute guarantee that that person makes money. Do you know why there's a guarantee that that person makes money? Because if you go from booth to booth to booth and all you see is the same shit over and over and over again, you are going to get to this big booth and go, you know what? This really isn't the shit that I want. Even though they've got more of it, it's not the shit that I want, right? It's, okay, you go to a tech conference and it's Apple products, Apple products, Apple products, Apple products, Apple products, and then the big Apple booth. The Apple booth is going to make money, and then there's one Android booth. This Android booth is going to make money because everybody who is not interested in any of these Apple products is going to head here. just because it's different, because it's a unique offering. Now, as somebody who's an independent creator who is never looking to go big and be the Graham Stephan, I'm not looking to be the Gary Vaynerchuk, I'm not looking to be the big name. I'm always happy with just being a name in the crowd. I always want to aim to be this instead of this. So there's a lot of folks out there that are doing day trading, TA trading. They're doing the gimmicky Jerry Springer kind of thing on their channels. That's just not my bag. It's never been my bag. My bag has been to be the guy that's different. And I would recommend that you just do the same thing. Now, are there best practices that are going to be the same across the board? Yeah, thumbnails, copyright, or your copy being written properly, search terms being done properly. Yeah, there are best practices that are involved in everything, for sure. But the reality is you want to differentiate yourself by being different. That you're being a shit disturber on concepts, that you're calling out fallacies in the market. I think that's a great edge to take, because most part what you see out there are these people pumping and trying to follow the most positive sentiment, right? So they want to be bulls on GME. They want to be bears against anything that deserves to be torn down and destroyed, right? Like, honestly, I love your contrarian approach to content creation, because I think that's where the bread and butter is. Now, you shitting all over TikTok, I mean, give her a shot, try it out. But in my mind, that attacking people isn't like, that's you standing in the crowd here and yelling at booths that what they're doing is wrong instead of being on the stage. Like, you're just in the wrong place. You know what I mean?
I mean, like, against the grain stuff, it's the problem is that I see. I don't know. I don't know, because like it's just I've never been to this deep level of like analytics with YouTube, to the point where, like, because before, the old stuff that I used to follow was basically, oh, you just create a top 10 channel or whatever, use the Creative Commons stuff, and you just rehash the videos over and over again, different thumbnail, different title, clickbait thumbnail, etc., etc. And then, like, these people just get instant partner because there's always a metric for this type of thing. And like for stock content, it's well, not seasonal. It's basically cyclical. It's only whenever someone fucks up large. I did a keyword search for TikTok investors. There wasn't enough data to actually go off of, but there was still some search volume to it, but there was nobody ranked for it. There was like bad TikToks, and that's what a lot of people are searching for, but I'm not sure if I could actually tap into that market, because people's interest in the markets are kind of waning.
Yeah, so this is when I search stock market. Obviously, it's going to go poor because the competition's so high. Stock market live. Okay, so it immediately gives me a channel called Stock Market Live. Obviously, that's going to pop up. But let's take a look at this company here, Stock Market Live, has 8 channels that are all currently live. Day trading live, like, there's so much room in these markets. There's that Charlie Chang guy that I mentioned, but like there's so much of this that is literally just like, okay, well, we're just watching things live. If we talk about, okay, so you're talking about TikTok stock. Yeah, let's do TikTok stock and see what comes up. Learning stocks from TikTok, best stock buys. There's Graham Stephan. 600 views, 500 views. I would say that there's, I mean, this is telling you it's very good because the search volume is not huge, but the competition is good. So there's very little competition on something like this. This thing is to your advantage. This search tool, any ideas that you have for a video should definitely be looked up. So the video that I'm planning to put out by end of day today, once I go back, is how to play the stock market and win. See?
Jeez, how do you find these like low competition things?
You work. You play the search engine game. Let's create one. Okay, we'll do it right now. Let's create a video for redemption. why you suck at stocks. Not so great, right? Okay, so let's just make it you suck at the stock market. Okay, a little bit better. So having market in there is important. What if we put why back in there, make a question? Why you suck at the stock market? Even better. Why you suck at the stock market and how to fix it. It's about the same, so that didn't fix it. Okay, why you suck at the stock market on Robinhood. This is called TubeBuddy, guys. If you guys would like to use TubeBuddy, I do have an affiliate link, so that made it worse because the competition's excellent, but the search volume is low. Okay, so suck at the stock market is good. How to stop sucking at the stock market. And you just keep playing with this until you get what you get. Anything over 80, I would say, is good. So that made it worse. $80. How to stop losing money in the stock market. Now, one thing that you'll see in this, guys, this is and when you do marketing, certain things are going to grab attention. Okay, I know we're doing a lot of marketing stuff here, but it's just kind of the direction that we've taken. And hopefully you guys can learn something from this because you'll learn how you are being marketed to. Okay, so let's take the mouse off here. What are the things that you see just from these first 4 videos that are common in the most successful videos?
Highlighted text.
Highlighted text.
And something.
Why does highlighted text work?
Because it pops out.
Right, it pops. Image. Your eyes immediately jump to the text. I want to read what that is. What else is there?
Facial expressions.
Facial expressions, that's right. Body language communicates 90% of language. Right? It communicates 90% of language. So having a face on your thumbnail is going to communicate the sentiment of the video. Why people lose money in the stock market is ahead of 6 rules not to lose in the stock market. So we have kind of a generic face on this one that isn't much of anything. We've got one here where the guy has an aggressive pose saying, you know, I'm going to tackle this. But this one, it doesn't surprise me, is the top for this search because that face that lady is making is the face that everybody who's losing on the stock market is relating to, right? People are looking for what's common. What else? What do you see in the titles?
Something somewhat polarizing, but a lot of keywords like stock market and stuff like that.
Okay, stock market, number, there's always a number. And what this lady's doing is something that, whether people realize it or not, your eye, whenever you see something in parentheses, your eye shoots to what's in parentheses.
Interesting. I've actually noticed that too with how you were saying the titles are actually really important because if you search up, I searched up something yesterday where it's like Flash, Justice League, Flash scene in Justice League or whatever, right? There are these videos that have like 30, 50,000 views with no tags whatsoever, just the title. It's just based on the title.
The other thing that you guys can do is color theory. Okay, so let's just go to hot videos because these are the ones that, and these won't be stock specific, but come on, scroll.
I just searched up. Say why you suck at trading, how to fix that. I got a 59, and then I decided to do another search, which was how to do proper stock research. It gave me a 51, but then I changed it to do how to do proper stock DD, and it jumped up to 55.
I'm trying to think of different thumbnails I can show you guys. Okay, I know what. Yeah, let's do that. I'll go here. Okay, I want my designs.
So I want one that says the keyword doesn't have too much competition, but also it shows the search volume, because these ones that I just searched, like why you suck at trading, how to fix it, it says this keyword isn't too competitive and has enough search volume to make it worth targeting. It doesn't show the amount of people that are searching for this though. Like the one you showed had like 40,000 or something like that, people searching for stuff like that.
I want to create a new folder. Just create a new folder. Come on. All your folders. Create new folder. Thumbnails. Okay. All my designs. This. 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 Move to folder. Thumbnails. False advertising. Millennials never that smiley. It's so bright you have to turn me down. Yeah. Okay, so go to folders, thumbnails. Okay, so in each of these thumbnails, I am using something else that is a marketing trick. Okay. So in the pet one, there's a couple of different things that I'm using. One of them is, anybody notice the ears on the animals and where they are pointing?
Well, some of it's to you, or actually all of it's to you.
Right.
Much.
The way that the animals are positioned, it all draws your attention inwards to the center of the page. So this is line theory. The eyes follow lines. You can't help it. It's just a natural thing that happens. Eyes look for lines and they follow the direction of those lines. So that's one thing that you can do. The other thing is the brightness. A lot of people are saying, it's so bright, I got to turn it down. That's true, because the brightness grabs your eyes. If you were looking at a whole bunch of videos in a feed, right? If I type stock market in here, and we look at the thumbnails, these are all dark thumbnails, right? But this one right away pops just because it's brighter than the rest, right? Dull, 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 dull. Even more so if this was in dark mode, right? Most of you guys are in dark mode, yeah? Well, in dark mode, these dark ones are just going to blend, but this one's going to pop. Okay, next one. This one here. Color theory. Okay? What is the number one most eye-catching color of them all? Please tell me that's yellow and not green.
I wanted to say red because I see constant red on these things where people just highlight, oh, you're lost, or the like really critical, not really command words, but really critical like scare words like loss and negative words. Negative words are usually highlighted in red.
Damn it, it's green. Okay, is this one yellow? Hopefully this one's yellow down here. I was hoping that this was yellow. This is the problem with being colorblind. This is also green. Great. But yeah, so the yellow is the idea. You want something that's a bright, closest to yellow color. Yellow is the best. I guess that it's green isn't terrible, but bright yellow would be the better idea. And the bright yellow pops. So one of the things, guys, there was a really cool study that came out with the NHL a few years back. Most of you guys will know this guy here if you watch hockey. You know Marc-Andre Fleury?
No, I don't really follow hockey too much.
Okay, so Marc-Andre Fleury, when he was playing with the Penguins, for one season, changed his goalie pads to this bright yellow color. Okay? This yellowy goldish color, his goals against average spiked. People were scoring left, right, and center on the guy. Nothing changed. His play style was the same. His team was the same. The team could not figure out why in the world all of a sudden everybody was beating Fleury. Nobody could figure it out. Then somebody showed up who was in marketing and advertising and said, change his yellow pads to black instead. All of a sudden, his goals against average went right back down to where it was. His pads being yellow allowed the players subconsciously that were moving towards the net to know exactly where he was and put the puck somewhere else. Just him changing his pads to white and black instead of white and yellow changed everything. It's huge. The least significant color is black.
That explains why I always see white text with black strokes over
That's
it.
right. That's right. But that's also why I try to use yellow on black. White on yellow on black, right? The other thing, of course, is division. This is the rule of thirds being operated. For those of you that don't know the rule of thirds, that's a quick Google search for you. But the rule of thirds, the eye likes to see things that are compartmentalized and segmented. So that's what this one is. As well, division and lines here. Anything that's breaking up on an angle. Your mind likes things neat and organized in structure, right? So whenever anything is off structure, it's trying to make it right. And so when you see these angles that cut off images at funny degrees, it's causing people to look. And again, I'm always using line theory, right? So here's line pointing up. Oh, then there's this weird line and your eye follows it down. Oh, wait, the joints are pointing over here and somebody's looked at the whole image. Now, this one obviously is not the one I'm going to use that has a joint in the mouth, but even with the gestures, typically I like to be pointing or gesturing in a direction. So yeah, there's the marketing 101 for you guys for the day. These are simple ways that you get pulled into things and stuff. You can see it just about everywhere where there's advertising. I've got ad block on right now, so you're not going to be able to see ads anywhere. But next time you look at an ad, I used to do this all the time when I was in digital marketing, is I would pull ads that grab my attention. So if I head over to Facebook and I'm looking at the ads on the platform, Facebook's thinking real hard. But I'm looking at the ads on the platform. If something grabbed my eye on the side here in these sponsored posts, I'd pause and I'd take a screenshot and figure out, okay, well, why does that grab my attention, right? Why is that effective? Is this an effective use of marketing, and why? Yeah, so that is important to keep in mind for sure. So if we go to redemptions, and I mean, this is something that I used to do all the time when I was doing marketing, was channel reviews. If I go to redemption trades, let's go to redemption's YouTube page. Ever thought of getting colorblind glasses? It wouldn't help me, Gobbler. So the issue is I see colors, I recognize them as being different. I just don't know what the color is. And the issue with this is how they teach colors in the public schools. So as a child, when you're getting that fundamental level of color learning, how do they teach you colors? What's a typical lesson you would see in like preschool, kindergarten for colors?
XPEV.
An apple is red. A stop sign is red. Water is blue. The tree is green. Grass is green. Right. The flower is yellow. So what my mind did when I was little growing up and learning is I learned symbol association instead of colors. So if I look at something and I go, oh, there's a tree out there, it's green, is what I'll tell you. Now, parts of the tree are brown, parts of the tree could be gray. I know that snow is white, but sometimes snow could be a darker color. You know what I mean? Like I associate symbols to colors. So I see the colors, I see that they're all different, but I couldn't tell you, like I know that the shirt is yellow, right? Because I've worn the shirt before. My wife has told me that it's yellow, so I know that it's yellow. But that's just a symbol. I know that the shirt is yellow because I know that this is a yellow shirt. I don't actually know that this is the color yellow. Had I seen this color somewhere else, I could have just as easily told you that this is green. Okay, so thumbnail theory with redemption. Let's go. Okay, so what we're reading is top to left symbols. Right now, this is good. There's face on it. I don't mind it. The text is kind of hard to read with the U, so I mean, that's not huge for me, but it's not bad. Andrew's last laugh. Okay, so you got a face on here that's well recognized, and I think that's great. Yellow font, arrows for directional. I like it. Arrows for directional, yellow. The font game needs to be like this font over faces. I'm not sold on that, but that's not terrible. The white background is going to grab in darkness. This is fantastic. It just makes you laugh. The use of faces is good. This is good. This is interesting. The rabbit with the South Africa flag. Now, if you targeted this to South Africa, it would probably work.
I tried to, but that only accrued views because it was posted on StockTwits, and that's where I kind of got the theory of like how to move about and promote my channel. Which I wanted to just let the engine do its work, but it's not enough.
I would agree, Saki. Or the end is beer. The font needs to have a backing to it or a bigger outline so you can understand what's going on. For sure. The text kind of gets lost there. Here is fine, but you can't even see the rocket really behind it. You just know that there's an explosion there. So, I mean, moving the font so it's still visible, but you can read the image is going to be big, and then putting some kind of a backing on it. Now, are you doing this inside Photoshop?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that shows pretty quickly. Again, the tools that I use for a reason, guys. The reason why I use Canva is because of the amount of templates. It just cuts down time. It makes it so much easier to put one of these together. You can put this together so quickly. Like I create a new YouTube thumbnail every morning. It takes me like, I don't know, like a minute. You go in here, you go, okay, well, I want to create a new one. I guess today what I'm going to do is, okay, so we'll go here. We'll go top 5 stocks for May 2021. Real gain. Live stock market. Oh, put space in there. Stock market. Go here, make this neon green, make the font black so it's legible, leave that there. Make this in the back into stocks. Maybe not that image. Maybe we don't even put in a. We won't even put in anything. We'll just make this a white background. Make this font black. Doesn't have to be a great image. I just need to find an image of myself. You can tell that my kids have been in my stuff here because okay, whatever, we'll use this one. Run a background burner on this. Should you sell SNDL? I'm not. But you should definitely make your own trades and know what you are doing. Make your own trades for sure. Understand why you're in the play. For me, I am playing on upcoming legalization in the States. Cut my wife out of the picture here. So we'll do this. I'll make this big. And then something stock related. something like that. So, I mean, that's really rudimentary and really quick. But like, what made you want like 8 kids? I wanted one. I'm just not very good at math.
Yeah, no,
But like,
that's also why I implemented that rule, the 5-minute rule for myself. If I had to spend more than 5 minutes on the thumbnail, it's crap. So
right, that took me
I
5 minutes, not even, right? Like, I
yeah,
was able to do a background removal. I was able to put in the proper colors. It's got the symbols. People would see this, and chances are somebody would probably click on that thumbnail.
I was leaning into some of the nostalgia shit because I find that like most people recognize memes, right? That's why I decided to use the distracted boyfriend meme, and I've been trying to lean a little bit more into using that in my thumbnails because people think the stock market is a meme. Well, might as well just lead into it because they're gonna click that stuff, and like all the professional stuff for CNBC stuff, like it's just like they're looking for CNBC, they'll go for CNBC. But for stuff like this, I figured no more than 5 minutes, lean into the memes if I can, or if I can think of one. If I spend more than 5 minutes on it, then it's not worth doing. It's just way too complex for something that should be super simple.
But you see how in that same amount of time, I'm able to put font with backing. I'm able to remove background on images. I'm able to layer things really quick and easy, right? Photoshop just doesn't give you the ability to do quick and easy. It does a really great job with highly polished work. But as far as actually layering an image and kind of creating a thumbnail, Canva kicks the crap out of it as far as speed goes.
Yeah.
If speed is of the essence, I really recommend that you take a look at Canva. Okay, SoftBank, Constellation News. All right, SNDL, that's what I was looking at. SNDL is now down below $1.
All right, how about this? Since the middle of the week on Wednesday, I take whatever is the most talked about in the first 3 days, or especially on Wednesday, and I go through that company on StockTwits and break that down, like as per what you said originally. I should do on live on stream.
Whenever you get a hater, always give them the thumbs up. Don't get mean. Keep on smiling. Are we going to talk about Zemetica? Yeah, we talked about Zemetica a bunch before. The big news with Zemetica, guys, is that we do finally have a price on the unit, which is fantastic. The unit has been priced at just a little under 13 grand, which is fantastic. In order for them to meet my projections, Nancy, they would have to sell 400 units up the East Coast, which I think is easily doable with Miller Vet Supply being the lead distributor for them. They do have an internal sales team as well, but I think Miller can definitely hit a 400 sales mark on this thing. The vet industry has been watching and talking about this thing ever since Tiger came. So I do expect that we see a decent sales return on this. But as to when they drop PR, who knows if they are going to drop PR or not. Time will tell. We may have to wait till earnings on Zemetica. So, but I digress. I'm going to go get a coffee, you guys. Anybody on any platform, you can shout out a ticker, and I will do ticker breakdowns with viewers right now until we leave at 11. So just go ahead, throw your tickers that you want me to give a insight into, a look at in chat, and I will be right back.
I mean, my quote unquote evergreen stuff, occultist, is basically just that. I find whatever is the most popular thing of the week, and typically it's been a meme stock. I just break it down and see what they're saying, and I basically research what they're saying. So like people saying that, oh, AMC is going to come back or whatever, right? But they had declining revenues before this and high overhead costs in before COVID, and COVID just accelerated it. And their plan for coming back, they really haven't outlined, but they were trying to do this whole test private screening thing. But if you compare the revenue of like the private screening thing, which is like $150 for them for 20 up to 20 people, They also they still have to pay for the movie costs, and the overhead still kills them. But compare the 20 people and $150 to a theater which has at least minimum 100 seats there. The revenue you get from the seats alone to cover most of your overhead costs cannot compare to like the 20 people that are just there to pay for that shit.
Okay, so let's see what we got here. NLS, APOG. Wow, you guys have very few tickers today. That's fantastic. I'll be able to get out of here pretty quickly. Who's the voice in the headphones now? That's Redemption. Juvaf. Yeah, theater revenue is from concessions largely. Concessions, and now a lot of these theaters are selling like Funko Pops and stuff like that. Ride. Yeah, I can break down Ride again. Actually, they've had positive news since, so it's not a bad one to break down. Anything else that you guys want me to take a look at before I get out of here today? I have 5 tickers here. Typically, you guys have like 50 tickers that you want me to look at. UMC, EGC, CCIV. There we go. There it is. DLB, DGOY. AWK. Okay, you're done. Perfect. All right. NLS, first up. Nautilus. Fitness Solution Company. Oh, yeah, I'm familiar with them. I'm familiar with the Nautilus brand. My gym has Nautilus equipment. Bowflex, Octane. Okay, so the issue with Nautilus is now they are competing with another major player in their sector. They are competing with Peloton in a big way. They do Bowflex, they do Nautilus, they do Schwinn. Schwinn is directly affected by Peloton. I think that they need to find a way to edge in on Peloton, and they're not doing that. I don't expect to see them massively resurging because most gyms coming out of this, will gyms bounce back? Do I think Planet Fitness is okay? Yeah, I think Planet Fitness is going to be okay. Do I see gyms investing in new equipment out the gate? Not really. Not really. Guys, anything that's an REIT, I see that popping up at the end there. Anything that's an REIT, I'm going to stay far, far away from for a long time. Biden seems perfectly happy to extend this moratorium as long as possible until he feels that people can pay this back, which I don't know when that is. And the longer that they've got to hold on to these debts without seeing a penny back, and then even once they can start calling in the debts, I don't know that people have the money to cover. I don't know that people can actually pay these debts. I don't think their stimulus has gone into paying down outstanding debts. I think that they have found themselves in a really terrible place.
Oh my god, that's such a fucking smart idea. So, you know how we're locked down, right?
Yeah.
So, one of the selling groups that I follow, right, just had proposed an idea saying that, hey, why don't you just, since all these stores that are quote unquote non essential are locked down, especially some of the smaller ones, why don't you go up there and negotiate a private deal with them to buy them for a certain percentage margin that's just below the sales price of whatever they're selling it for, and then you take that and you calculate whatever you need to or whatever you can with the new enhanced shipping and stuff, but you figure out all that sort of logistics and you try to resell it online, because there is and will likely be an increased price and demand for certain products. That's genius.
Okay, guys. So my issue with the lockdown in Ontario is this. If I go to a map, this is where Millennial lives, okay? This is the area that I live in, okay? So all of these places, all of these counties need to shut down entirely. It's a total lockdown, okay? These are total cases, not this month, since the start of COVID, okay? Since the beginning of COVID. Currently, out of all of these areas, only one has had more than one case a day. One area in this entire thing, okay? They are killing all of small town Ontario because cities like Cornwall, Kingston, London, Toronto, Ottawa, Thunder Bay have booming numbers. Less than one a day. My area currently has 24 active cases. 24. If I walk up my main street in town here, the small businesses that used to exist, we used to have like a strip mall of small businesses. There's only 2 or 3 that are still open. It is absolute bullshit what they have done here. I am all for a lockdown in major cities. Metropolitan areas, anything that's urban or semi-urban, I'm there. If you are a big city or you are a suburb of a big city, you should be locked down. Absolutely. I'm there with you. However, in areas where you have less than one case a day since this thing began, you are killing these communities. Absolutely killing them. The small businesses that are here will never recover. They will be gone. And all that will be left is big box stores, and no small businesses are going to start again because nobody will have the money to do it. It is absolutely ludicrous.
Yeah, what happened in our country was that before we even had like 1 million doses, our prime minister decided that he wanted to do a PR stunt and say like, oh, we have to give this to less fortunate countries. We have a population of 30 million. Like the highest vaccination rate currently, I think it's Israel with like 50-60% vaccination rates. The US, I believe, was about to dip into the double digits, and then we are like basically half of what the US was.
Yeah, suffice it to say, I'm really, really upset with how both Ontario and Canada have dealt with this. They are killing small town Canada. And the same thing's happening in the States, but to a lesser degree, but it's still happening. If you go to a border town in upstate New York, you'll see the same thing. The mom and pop shops are dead. They're gone. They won't be back. Businesses that have been around for 80 years, 100 years, they're dead. They're gone.
Oh yeah, no, I took a stroll down through Queen Street earlier in the week, and holy shit, like that place used to be hustling and bustling with all these like stores that would I would consider them somewhat heritage at this point, but these stores that were there for like almost decades are gone. Like they're just boarded up and gone.
So Apogee guys, I like this into infrastructure spending. This is going to be good for them. I would say there's potential for it to go to 60 over the next 12 months. So if that's enough juice on this for you to play, then that's there for sure. It's criminal. That we live in a day and age where we can accumulate stats and knowledge and communicate it in real time like never before, and yet we are still using these blanket solutions is negligent. On behalf of the government, it is completely negligent what they have done here. Because what you have done is, again, for the sake of big cities like Toronto and Ottawa, you have killed small town rural Ontario. You've killed it. You've absolutely decimated it. And all you are doing is creating bigger box stores. You have essentially put a nail in the coffin on mom and pop shops. You have told the world the only business that survives when shit hits the fan is big business. Small business can go F itself. That's what you have done, which is a direct attack on the middle class, which these governments tout as their bread and butter. Bullshit. All that you have supported is big business and government jobs. They said, look at how Korea and China handled it. Yeah, with military states. Great job. It's insanity. The fallout and damage to small businesses and the middle class as a result of this is going to be massive. There will be initiatives in the future for small business, but it's too late because the people that currently own small businesses and were willing to start it are now drowning in debt. They're up to their ears in debt, and there's not going to be a debt forgiveness for small business. That's not going to come into play. That won't be there. Here's some incentive to start a small business. I would, but I'm still paying off the bankruptcy that I'm in as a result of COVID. The only initiative that you can put into place that's going to help small business get back is a total debt forgiveness for anybody who finds himself in insolvency due to the crisis. My neighbor with more experience of mine said to me that COVID came like a fire on the fields, which raised everything to the ground. So that's the problem, is that people have the mentality that it raised everything to the ground. What I'm trying to show with the data and stats from small towns, rural communities, is that we weren't ravaged. We weren't raised to the ground. I agree that there were large fires in big urban centers, but the smaller outlying populations, there was no fire here. Less than one case a day. Less than one case a day, and you have killed the economy in small town Canada, small town US. And the argument that, well, if you let those small communities stay open, all the big people would leave their cities and go to the small communities. I just don't buy that. I know people from Toronto. They are way too lazy to drive an hour outside of town to go to a store, a mom and pop shop. They won't do it. I've been better, man. Watching this lockdown, Redemption's got me on tilt now. I wasn't even going to talk about this today, but Redemption's got me on tilt with the gross negligence of locking down rural Canada.
I guess I shouldn't have brought up. I guess if I was to go full, I mean, like I probably shouldn't bring up the basic income argument again.
I don't, at this point, I mean, we are so far floundering in debt federally. Why not? Go ahead. Might as well.
That's why I made the comment the other day. I was just like, well, time for me to become a Swiss citizen.
How to die. So that's why I said if I was doing a lockdown, it would be on urban and semi-urban. So urban and semi-urban is urban and any outlier cities that are feeders for that city. So you would have Ottawa, but then you would also have cities like Rockland, and you would have Smiths Falls, Arnprior, Renfrew. These are communities that feed into the bigger city. But where I am an hour and a half to Montreal, an hour and a half to Ottawa. There's nobody here, and even if they are commuting into the cities, they're working remotely right now. They're not actually driving into Ottawa. They're not driving to Montreal. Those suburb communities are a reality, for sure. But I'm talking about rural communities, which in Ontario, I'll show you guys. Population chart, Ontario. Okay, so here's Ontario. Anywhere in red would be an area that I recommend gets locked down. Okay, anywhere in red would be an area that I recommend gets locked down. If I look at Ontario COVID cases, by county. Map. Map. Cumulative. This isn't by county, this is by segment. COVID cases by city, Ontario. Okay, so here's a breakdown of Ontario by all cases. Ottawa's a little darker, Toronto's a little darker. The rest of the province. So this has been the ongoing issue, guys. This has been the ongoing issue in Canada, is that these large populations, the rest of the country has to sacrifice everything so that these big cities can survive. It's very different from the States. You have large populations all across the US. Most states have one massive city that is just huge. In Canada, that's not the case. We are such a huge country that's so widely dispersed. When we start creating solutions that are going to be blanket solutions, because major urban populations like Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Calgary, Vancouver, Victoria, when we are making the rest of the country shut down, I'm not an advocate of you need the same solution for everybody, because the repercussions of that solution for everybody that repercussion for everybody is not equal. When Toronto lifts the lockdown, will Toronto survive? Yes, because it's Toronto. Most of the boom in Toronto is going to come from the fact that they've got all of that money located in a very specific area. Canada's population is 30 some million. Toronto is a fifth of that. So it makes absolute sense for Toronto in that area to lock down. But the rest of this province, all of the businesses that are way the hell up here, Toronto's down here, all the businesses in Ontario that are way the hell up here are being told you must lock down and close down. If you've got a gym up in this area, you are not allowed to be open right now. Mining is an essential service, so you can continue mining, you can continue farming. But these businesses up here, if you've got a mom and pop shop that isn't a big business, that isn't a grocery store chain, that is a gym, a small restaurant, you're screwed. You are screwed. Who's going to enforce that, though? That's just it. They're out fining these businesses. Bylaw is still going. Bylaw is an essential service. So bylaw in these small towns is driving around watching the mom and pop shops, because there's only about a dozen of them, watching them and fining them. So we're talking next to nil cases, less than one case a day, but all of the economy in these small areas is supposed to shut down. And when things open back up, everything will be okay again. No, everything will be okay again in Ottawa and in Toronto for sure, because there's the population to spend there. However, in these rural communities, the shops are going to be closed. People are already now ingrained to buy online. Any new shops opening, good luck. Good luck. People will be already be ingrained to just buy online. It is very much going to be a massive fallout. The repercussions for the small rural communities in Ontario, in the States, is going to be like nothing else. So the narrative that, well, you can't just create customized solutions for each area, absolutely you can. Because what you are saying is, well, everybody will bounce back. And that's not true. It's not true. If the repercussions of this aren't going to be equal, then the solution shouldn't be the same for everybody. End rant. Right. And it's also not jobs created, because all those jobs are big businesses, right? How many new small businesses have been started is something I would like to see for numbers. Forget payroll, because payroll is ADP off of big numbers, right? ADP is the big companies, the Walmarts, the Costcos, the Amazons. Show me the mom and pop shops that have been open since COVID has started to be recovered from in the States. No retailers, for sure, yeah. I yeah. I don't want to kick a dead horse, but the repercussions are not going to be equal, so the solution can't be equal. Anyway, Apogee is an infrastructure play, guys. It looks solid. It's an infrastructure play. Yeah, of course, companies that rely heavily on delivery are able to perform as small restaurants. But if you're somebody that is a fine dining local bistro or eatery, it's done. ISCC. Smaller mid-cap company invests. I mean, given the rant that I just went on, I think that this is here. I think you understand my thoughts and insights on how small cap companies are going to perform coming out of this. I'm also not a fan of funds or groupings of stocks. So ISSC no X. Oh, did I look up the wrong stock? I looked up the wrong stock. My bad. Innovative solutions and support. Systems integrator designs, develops, manufactures, sells services, flight guidance, auto throttle, cockpit display system. So this one is all about government contracts, and I would need to see some sign of growth in contracts. Their projected revenue, they don't have a projected revenue. There is revenue growth 2018 through now, even in a struggling aerospace sector, so that's good to see. But they hit a hard decline from 2016 and are ramping back up to it. So short term, I would say that this looks good as part of the infrastructure as well, but this is an airline. This is aviation government contracts.
Oh,
which is something that's going to be addressed, and there is potential in that in the short term for sure.
That reminds me.
For me, it would be treat the illness as though it was a fire. Treat the illness as though it was a wildfire. So how do you stop a wildfire? Designate the places where the wildfire is and lock that down. Lock it down. The surrounding area is a control area. So where should you optimize your vaccine rollout? Around the control area that you've locked down, and then you work your way in. Anywhere where there's these tiny little spatterings of fire, keep an eye on them, but I mean, let's be realistic. They're going to extinguish themselves. Yeah, CCIV is definitely on the list. I will take a look at it. Oh, did I not put it on here? You definitely asked for it. CCIV. So this is another EV play. I think the sector is inundated. I'm not really a huge fan of Lucid Motors necessarily over anything else. That it's up around this 23. I think it could go as high as 30, but for me, I like Ride better than CCIV. That's just my opinion on this. I think that this is just about as high as it's going to go until it actually becomes the ticker it's supposed to become. So with CCIV, I think I probably have around a $30 mark on this, just because the market is so flooded. No problem. Hopefully that helps. Juva. But if you do a controlled burn, the reason why you see major wildfires burning, the reason why they start fires on the outside that can be controlled is you burn the area that it's able to fuel. So do the same thing with vaccines. Find the major centers, put a lockdown on those centers, and then the major areas outside, those suburbs, those bedroom communities, vaccinate those communities first. That way the virus isn't going to really spread outwards past those communities, right? You create a protective barrier around it by vaccinating the communities outside those major urban populations. Then you vaccinate the major cities. You work from the smaller, the bedroom communities, the suburbs, and you create a safe ring around that city. Around 60? I mean, maybe, but we're going to get to Ride. Juvaf is a small cannabis company. Revenue growth looks good quarter over quarter. I'm pretty hard in SNDL. I don't think that I'm actually going to be going any deeper into any pot stocks. SNDL's got 700 million cash in hand. That's what I'm looking to. For me, Juvaf is just another Canadian pot stock. Ride. Okay, so Ride, guys, latest news on Ride is that they did roll out their betas. They are beaten down heavily after the short still, so they're looking pretty solid. Down at $12. I think they head back up to 30 as well on this. Their beta rollout looked good, so Ride beta. News. So this is the beta truck. On the rollout, they actually drove this thing out. I think it was on Twitter, so I can show it. Can't play the audio, but Lordstown beta. Okay, so this is it here. There's the truck. It's not a pusher. That's not downhill. That truck looks like it's driving to me. Hindenburg was saying that they wouldn't be able to produce vehicles by September. I don't know. Those look like functional vehicles. Now, there's a lot of questions of, yeah, will they function? Will they actually be able to drive? Will they actually be able to do what they say that they can do? We shall see, because upcoming in June is the Baja race, the Baja 250, which they will be using a Lordstown skateboard on. So we will see if their system actually functions in the Baja race, which is one of the hardest races on vehicles in the world. Now, the Baja 250 is not the Baja 1000, granted, but this is for EVs. So if it performs well at the Baja 250, you have a really successful looking skateboard on an EV that actually works, and they've got one of the largest productions there. They're gonna meet their beta orders for sure. For me, this is a company that's actually focused on delivering and not too focused on the rest of the nonsense going around. Bus hijacked by protesters and set alight on the sixth night of unrest in Northern Ireland. Violence has been escalating as loyalist groups protest amid tensions over the Northern Ireland Protocol on Brexit, which puts a de facto border in the Irish Sea between Northern Ireland and mainland Britain. A police handling of coronavirus regulation breaches by members of the Sinn Féin. So the Sinn Féin is like the official branch, the legitimate branch of what would have otherwise been the IRA. But new footage shows loyalist rioters hijack bus in western Belfast. One man can be heard shouting, "Tell the driver to drive it down. Where's the driver?" Another shouts, "Petro bomb it." Rioter in driver's seat releases brake before getting off, but seems to have free rolled. Yeah, they bombed a bus. TSG always says not to fund the IRA. Well, that's a very strong political stance. That would be Stockeye actually understanding the implications of Britain overreaching into a country that it has no place in. I'm not saying I support terrorist acts. I'm never a supporter of terrorist acts, but it's a little bit more complicated than that. So RIDE, operational beta, Baja 250, September rollout. VTR.
Oh, that's interesting. I was like wondering why Peter Thiel's trending on Twitter.
And he's Bitcoin is China's tool to break the U.S. economy, and Google is complicit in it. Yeah, only a terrorist if you lose. Exactly. Yeah, the British occupation of territory that doesn't belong to them—that's not terrorism. But the people that are hijacking a bus and lighting it on fire, those are terrorists. It's a thin line. The winners get to write history, right? The rape, pillage, and murder of Scottish men for hundreds of years on the part of the English seizing territory, that's completely okay. That wasn't terrorism. That was militant occupation of land. See Ukraine and the Crimea for more information. Yeah, so revenue estimate on VTR, guys. This is healthcare and real estate in an REIT. I don't like REITs. If I was going to buy a healthcare company that's looking to expand and grow, for me, it's SHG. So I prefer SHG or SHGFF over this. UMC, this is semiconductor shortage. I already have this up here a little bit earlier on the list. They are a small player in the semiconductor industry. I think there's a huge potential there for them. AGC. What is an REIT? It's a real estate investment trust. They own a bunch of real estate properties. and you make money when they pay their bills. Altimeter Growth Corp. This is a SPAC. This is the Grab SPAC. Yeah, okay. So this is another ride-sharing company. Can anybody here, why am I not a fan of those? Because I don't see people able to pay their bills. I think there's a lot of people holding a lot of property that has not been paid for with a moratorium, and I don't think that they're going to. Thoughts on 420 run for cannabis stocks? Every year cannabis stocks run up to 420. All of them hold back their press for the date. They know it. It's like advertising on the Super Bowl, right? With Grab, guys, can somebody throw into chat a ride-sharing company that has been profitable? I'm just going to go use the washroom here, but go ahead and let me know a ride-sharing company that's been profitable. Throw the ticker in chat there.
Wonder if a Lyft is actually profitable.
Waiter isn't ride-sharing. Waze isn't ride-sharing.
Is Lyft a rideshare? That's
Lyft isn't
profitable?
Lyft isn't profitable though. Yahoo Finance. Not one of these companies, to my understanding, has turned a profit. Where's their yeah, like Lyft is still 1.6. This is in thousands, right? So this is Lyft is still 1.6 billion in the hole. $1.7 billion in the hole. Even food delivery, Grubhub, most of the big ones, Uber Eats, Grubhub, they're not profitable. They're operating in debt. Waiter is profitable over the past couple quarters, but I mean, it's a small fry in the industry. I'm not bullish in that sector, with the exception of Waiter that I've played a few times, because I think Waiter has potential in their business strategy and also as an acquisition. I think somebody just eventually buys them up. DoorDash or Grubhub or Uber Eats will just buy them up. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the sector. That sector especially has a lot to worry about as more and more what we are seeing is governments locking down and saying that they are employees. And as that happens, these things are not profitable. Look at Deliveroo, right? That was the name of the one that just went public in the UK, Deliveroo, right? This thing bombed at the gate. Hundreds of riders are striking across the UK as the food delivery companies float on the London Stock Exchange opens up to retail investors. Oh, thank you.
Jesus, Lyft was about to become profitable.
It's kind of hot on the bottom.
Hmm?
It's kind of hot on the bottom.
Oh, okay.
Then
Ketchup,
2020
please.
struck.
Mucho protein for me today. Meatloaf, meatloaf, meatloaf. For all y'all that hate, all of you that hate on meatloaf, take it somewhere else because I am a fan.
I read a paper the other day about because I was wondering if there's like any sort of like low effort kind of workouts I can do or whatever, and there was an exact paper where it said that the cognitive dissonance that you put into like low effort workouts compared to like the high effort ones, basically it implies that you get what you put into it. So if you want to just do lazy workouts, then you're not going to see any results. But the ones who actually like push their limits constantly saw drastic improvements in their physical health.
Yeah, so tomorrow's my weigh-in day, guys. I started April at 225. Lamb and pate meatloaf. No, it's just a ground beef meatloaf. Thank you. Started at 225 with the gyms locked down. All I'm doing now is intermittent fasting with can you get a close-up? Intermittent fasting with hypocaloric, and I'm using Google Fit to do a certain level of fitness every day. They give you something called heart points. As long as I break my 40 heart points a day, I'm good. So whether that's, I go for a walk to the park, I walk my dog, I take the kids for soccer, something minimal like that. As long as I'm hypocaloric and I'm doing that, as well as managing my macros, and I've got intermittent fasting, my theory is I can lose weight eating whatever I want. So we shall see. But 225 is where we started April, and tomorrow I will do a weigh-in and see where I'm at. But yeah, I am not bearish on, or I'm not bullish on that sector. I am bearish on that sector. CCIV we already broke down, so I'm not going to go into that again. DLB. Yeah, my kids also say that too. It's typical millennial. So, Dad, your diet is you can do what you want. Now, that being said, guys, I drink like 8 of these a day. I have about 5 cups of coffee, no milk, no sugar, no cream, none of that. ZOM is ripping, is it? 2.8. I mean, that's better than down 2.8 for sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So what do you think of SYSS? SYSS?
I'll put it in the lineup.
Yeah, I thought you already went through it.
What is it? SY?
Hang on, let me see. I'm just gonna confirm it. So SSYS.
See, guys, just because redemption's on Mike doesn't mean he gets to jump the line. He's in the line just like everyone else.
Oh no, you paused, and I was like, oh, I thought you were done through the list.
I was
That's
eating.
why. Okay.
Dolby, is this the sound thing? Ugh. Pass. Dolby sound. What this is looking for, guys, is the theater industry to bounce back. And since I'm not bullish on that, I'm not bullish on Dolby. I always try to make it as simple as possible, guys, but that's really as simple as it goes. Dolby does best on theaters doing well. DGLY, 52-week range as high as 7. It's currently sitting at $1.80. I think $7-8 is a reasonable place for it to head back to, actually. It's got contracts. I think as the riots and protests start up through the summer, it's strong. CCL using them. Expanded NFL season, 17-game NFL season. I really like DGLY. It's got a lot going for it.
Plus, we're coming up on riot season.
Yeah.
Riot peaceful season, protest season.
Yeah, riot season is inbound. As the weather gets warmer, guys, protests and riots start. If people think the protesting and rioting was just because of Trump, you are incorrect. This is a water company. I wouldn't play it just because it's outside of my price point on equity. If you're looking at an options play, this is another infrastructure play. I would say $1.70 is probably as high as this is going to go, in my opinion.
Yeah, this one's already pretty well established.
I would say $1.70 is about as high as that goes. Which, if you're playing options, maybe that's good for you, but yeah, for me, that's not really a thing. Coinbase, guys, I like Coin because it stands to it's first to market. Price target lifted to $440 from $195. Yeah, it's going to be the first in its kind. Yeah, it's going to be the first in kind. I think this declines before it grows, but in the long term, Coinbase I think stands to be $1,000 stock. And I know y'all are going to laugh at me of like, ah ha ha, millennial, that's crazy. Okay. Okay. Opening price, I agree. Out the gate, it's too small. But over the next 5 years, for it to head towards 1,000, I think is more than possible. Again, outside of my price point, though. It would be an options-only play. And last but not least, Syssus. Stratasys Limited. Is this a seasonality play?
Yes, it is, but there's some interesting things I found in there.
Projecting growing revenue, but it's a decline still from their peak in 2016, 2017. 3D printing, polyjet, FDM, stereolithography, programmable photopolymerization printers for rapid prototyping. It's a 3D printer company. What makes this one better than any of the rest?
So they're one of the only ones that actually does good. A lot of them, according to my friend, doesn't print good rubber, plastic, or any form of those things. These are apparently they apparently make some of the best stuff. They also own a site called the Thingiverse, which you can submit 3D AutoCAD models in and like other sort of 3D object models in there, right? And what's cool about this company is that apparently you can it's with an I. Yeah. So apparently you can actually order this, and the company could actually print it for you and send it to you. So people have been using this to make like custom grips for like their Nintendo Switches or like custom wall mounts for their stuff, and basically anything you can think of like that's plastic. I think their biggest target would likely be more so in the like people who are doing cosplays and stuff like that. But other sort of like functional furniture, little functional stuff for whatever the tools they need to, it would actually be very feasible. But um, they, where is it? Yeah, so they're apparently one of the best 3D printers with plastic and resin. Blah blah. And yeah, and they offer that service to print it as well. They basically have you guys make the products that you want, or ask for the products you want, or find something you want, and they can print it, or they sell you the printer to make it. They
Okay,
also
what's their?
sell you the spools.
Let's go here. Yahoo Finance.
Supposedly, and I can't confirm this, but my friend said that they also had a couple gun parts up there, not the full thing because it'd be missing something like the firing pin or
Yeah.
upper or lower receiver or something like that. But supposedly they did have those 3D models up there at some point. He does not know what happened to them, but
So, guys, Thingiverse is fun and cool and a bit of a laugh, but the reality is, it's a boutique niche. Declining revenue for the past 4 years. Declining profit for the last 4 years. Oh no, I guess that went up 2018 by a little bit. They're down almost $100 million from previous year. My take on 3D printing is when it hits a larger scale, not a smaller scale. When we start to
like
make our
directional.
roads and our houses and our buildings out of 3D printing, then 3D printing takes off.
So like the prefab stuff. Okay.
When you can 3D print cars. Houses already being done in a very small portion and in very restricted climates. You could not 3D print a house in Canada. It would not go well. The only 3D printed houses that I've seen so far are in the southern states of the US, and they are all concrete. If you build a concrete house up here in Canada, you are boned. That will be the coldest winter you have ever had. I tell you, man, we've had global warming for the last 30 years. Winter still sucks here. But when that leap happens where infrastructure can start to be like, imagine you just 3D print a road, right? You don't need to pay 20 government employees to stand around picking their nose and their ass while they put a street down. You just need one guy to drive a machine that 3D prints the road.
Just get what was it, Domino's, because apparently they had pizzas for potholes. the Pizzas for Potholes program, because apparently the states were so bad at maintaining the roads that Domino's decided to step in.
This is my favorite way to deal with potholes anywhere, guys. Small community in London. A guy was tired of calling the city to ask him to fix these massive potholes. So what he started to do at night was go out and find the potholes and then spray a penis over them. And in doing so, within days, the potholes had been filled. He's literally being a dick about it.
Oh, it's called Paving for Pizza. That's the Domino's program. They basically said that they had a lot of product loss because these roads were so shitty that when the drivers are driving to their locations, the pizza would literally get ruined by the time they got there. So they're just like, screw it. We're just gonna, if you buy pizza, we're gonna donate a portion to the city to fix up these roads.
This is not me advocating for public graffiti, but this is me advocating for state responsibility. If they're going to own infrastructure, that they are responsible for its upkeep and maintenance, especially with all the taxes that they claim. So in California, it wouldn't be too difficult to do something that was offensive there. You can use your imaginations, but any offensive symbol spray painted on, around, or near a pothole may result in a city force just sent out to pave the pothole. In the States, I don't know that a penis would get you there. I think it would have to be an offensive symbol. Mm. All that with only 270 calories. Perfect. I love eating protein because protein so small on the calories. There's almost no energy in protein. Yeah, just spray paint MAGA. Or Blue Lives Matter. Or All Lives Matter. And get covered real quick.
They have a pizza damage report on this.
India ignores COVID surge to play cricket. This is the real news, guys. The Indian Premier League will have 8 teams playing 52 games at 6 venues. Cricket will continue. Have no fear. Cricket, cricket, cricket. I can't go shop at a small boutique shop over here because we've had less than 1 case a day, but India's still got cricket. Okay. They're about the same as basketball. Good for India? I don't know. Time will tell. All right, guys, that's the end of the list. I will be working on editing the video. Hopefully that'll be out this afternoon or tomorrow. So if you're not already a subscriber over on YouTube, if you would take a few seconds. If you take a few seconds and head on over to YouTube, subscribe, you'll see the video that's dropping. It is going to be about how to play the stock market and win. It is a recap of the breakdown I did the other day on sporting analogy to help you better understand why people fail in the stock market and some simple steps that you can take to understand whether or not you should even be playing the game. That will be available by the end of the day today. So if you're not already subbed, please do so. You'll get a notification when you click the bell over on YouTube. I think this is going to be it for me today, so you guys are going to go raid the stock man. Make sure you drop beavers if you are a sub. I will be around tomorrow, guys. You will see me tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Is that not going to work? Why is that not doing what I want it to do? Oh, it is. Okay. All right. Later.